Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Larry's House of Hockey here. Little late getting getting these done because me and some friends went out to the Dead End Hayride, and that was a lot of fun. Now, week 2 of power rankings. These are going to get harder. I have a feeling these are going to get much harder as they go along. This week was way harder than last week. Some teams you knew where they would be. Others were just because there's not a lot of games being played, and it's hard to judge, and there's some teams we had some massive movements, and as my mouse conveniently hits the play button on my YouTube. Now we had some. We had teams that moved up double digits. We had teams that moved down double digits, and it was a challenge. It was a challenge for sure to figure this out, but I think I did. So yeah, we've got some. We had some big movers. Moving up, moving down, had some stay the same, and it's like I said, I think this is gonna get more. This could definitely get more difficult as it goes along, but that's kind of the neat thing to see exactly where a lot of these teams stand up. So, with that said, we'll move this forward. Number 32. They went 0-3 this week, so it's no surprise that they ended up dropping. Where do they go? They dropped 5 spots. San Jose. The San Jose Sharks. Now, this is kind of what a lot of people expected, that they were going to be bad, and I had them in that area. So, it's not exactly a surprise, but yeah, they dropped 5 spots, and I don't know how much worse it can get for them. Number 31, staying where they were. I think, wait a minute, let me see here. Yep, staying where they were. And number 31 is Chicago. The Blackhawks, of course, you've got Connor Bedard, you've got Taylor Hall, you've got Corey Perry, you've got a team that's not, they're not that good. They're not that good right now, nor were they expected to be, and it's just kind of one of them things, and We'll see what they can do from here. And of course, the Blackhawks, they ended up going 1-2 this last week. So, the fact that they only went 1-2 and they stayed in the same spot, that that just means how some of these other teams ended up doing, how bad they did, how worse they did. And another team, the next team, they ended up going. What did they go this week? They went 1-2 this week. And they dropped 5 spots. Anaheim. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks, or the Anaheim Ducks, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, not real good. Not a good week. Just not good. Just not good, period. Now, Number 29, moved up 4 spots, even though they went 1-2 this last week. Seattle. Now this isn't necessarily, Seattle moving up isn't necessarily because they did anything to make them move up. It's just other teams did so many other things to move below them. And Seattle, oofda. A team that had a lot of promise. I mean, I had them in the playoffs before the season started, and number 29. We'll have to see if they can move up at any point. But but again, 2 weeks into the season, you're gonna see a lot of moves. It's definitely easier to go up than it is down. So who knows with Seattle? Number 28, moving up 2 spots. They went 1-1-1 this week. Edmonton. So Edmonton, they've got some questions. They have some questions in goal. They're incredible on offense. Their goaltending though, oh man, it's not good. It's just not good, and they got to find some way to turn that around. I mean, people are, have them not only as cup favorites, but there's teams that have them winning the Stanley Cup. And here they are, number 28. Number 27, moving up 2 spots. They went 2-1 this week. Pretty decent week. 2-1-0. Buffalo. So the Buffalo Sabres might be starting to try to get this thing together. But, they still got a long way to go, obviously. But I think they've got a team that should compete. They should compete. They really should. So, and again, it's an early season. So, we'll see what happens here probably the next week, and we'll see if Buffalo can move up. Number 26, dropping 2 spots. And they had a record of 1-1-1 this week. Capitals. So the Capitals are, well, they're right now. They're just kind of I don't know what kind of team this is. I don't know if this is a team that can move up. It's definitely a team that can move down. But it's a team that I wonder, can they get out of this bottom row? They're just, man, oh man, they are just struggling hardcore. And Ovi doesn't have a goal yet. That's trouble. So, yeah. Number 26 is Washington. Number 25. I had their magnet. Where did their thing go? I had their magnet out here. Well, there it is. Number 25. Moving up. Let's see. Where did they go? Yeah, the Jets actually they dropped 6 spots. They dropped 6 spots. Winnipeg. And they had a record of 1-2-0. So they've dropped into the bottom row. And the Jets are a team. What are they? What are they? You sign Scheifele, you sign Hellebuck to these big extensions, and they haven't looked great. And It's a little worrisome. And now that they're having attendance issues, this is not where they want to be. If they're starting to have attendance issues in Winnipeg, that's not where you want to be. And the talk going around, which I think I might even do a video talking about that a little bit. We know what people are going to start saying. So Winnipeg's got to find a way to turn this around. Because, hoofta. Number 25, going 2-1 this week. Or not number 25, number 24. Jeez. 24. Nashville. So the Predators had a halfway decent week, going 2-1, but they're still trying to figure out what they are also. And they just, I don't know. I mean, you've got UC Soros, you've got Ryan O'Reilly, you've got some talent on that team. And, I guess we just got to wait and see what they are. So, yeah, they end up number 24. Number 23, moving down 2 spots. And they had a week of 1-1. And this is another team. What are they? We question it. Minnesota. So the Wild, again, they're doing what they seem to do best. They look like world beaters in one game. The next game, they get just slapped around. Tonight they lost to Columbus in overtime. But again, you allow 5 goals. The goaltending on the Wild right now is kind of a question. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to be going on with the Wild, but they got to figure something out too. Number 23, they had a record this week of 1-1-2. They moved down, though. They moved down 4 spots. This is an alarming spot for these guys. Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the lowest I think I've ever seen them. Even in Shannon's power rankings. It'll be interesting to see exactly where he has them. Because they are just... Oh, my... I mean, without Vasilevsky, they could be in some serious trouble. Honestly, they could be in some serious trouble. And, by the time Vasilevsky comes back, are they going to be in too big of a hole? I don't know. Do they go get a goaltender, or do they just stick with the goalies they have? Time will tell. Number 21. This is a team that moved up 7 spots, and they had a record of 2-1-0 this week. The other Florida team, Florida Panthers. Now, Florida, again, they had a decent week. They might be starting to round into form, maybe. I mean, and again, they moved up 7 spots. It wasn't necessarily because they had such a great week, which they did, which they had a pretty decent week, but others were just so bad that they dropped, and that moved them up. So, yeah, number 21, Florida. Number 20, moving up 2 spots. And they had a record of 1-1-1 this week. Calgary. So the Calgary Flames slowly moving up. They're another one of those teams. It's so hard to judge them. You just don't know what you're gonna get from not just from one game to the next, from one week to the next. from one week to the next, one game at the next, you just don't know what you're getting with Calgary. So, we'll see what happens as the season goes along, but number 20 right now. Number 19, moving up 4 spots, and they had a record of 2-1-0 this week. Los Angeles, the LA Kings. They had a decent week. 2-1, decent. Again, another team that we're still not totally sure of. And, the goaltending, of course, goaltending's a big thing. And, they've got some great players too. I'm still expecting them to be up here at some point. But as of right now, they're number 19. Number 18. Now, this is one of the bigger drops. They had a week, they were 0-2 on the week. This is 0-2-0 on the week. They dropped 11 spots. Pittsburgh. That is insane. And the 2 losses, they haven't looked great. They didn't look great in either of them. The one game they got smoked by Detroit, and they're not having a good time at the moment. And they've got some stuff they've got to figure out. I mean, dropping 11 spots, and you're gonna get those. You're gonna get those big drops like that. And it's crazy. So Pittsburgh's got a lot to work on here, and we'll see what happens if they can move up or move down. Now this was the biggest movement on the board. They went 1-3 this week. This was a team that was in the top 5 last week. They dropped 14 spots. Carolina. Holy cow. How do you do that? How is it that 1-3-0. Just horrendous. Just absolutely horrendous week. And, hopefully next week will be better. It can't get worse. Could it? Or could it? I don't know. But they gotta get their stuff straightened out too, because they're dropping 14 spots. That's harsh. Number 16. They had a drop also. They dropped 5 spots. And they had a record of 1-1-0 this week. They still dropped 5 spots though. New Jersey. So the Devils, another team that there's a lot expected of them. And right now, early on in the season, the start, not great. I'm expecting them to be up here at some point. But it's very possible they can't get this going. They could drop down into here. So, New Jersey's just another one of those teams that they got to figure out what they're doing. Who are they? Number 15. Now they dropped 2 spots, and they had a record of 1-1-0 this week. St. Louis. Now the Blues, they had a big win over Pittsburgh tonight, and it's it's a team that is just, we're not quite sure what they are. I mean, they've got Jordan Binnington, they've got they've got Jordan Kyrou, they've got Torrey Krug, they've got they've got some players. It's just, can they put it together? We'll have to wait and see, obviously. Now, number 14, they moved up 3 spots, and they had a record of 2-1-0 this week. Columbus. This is kind of a nice little surprise to see Columbus moving up. That's really good to see Columbus moving up. Even though it was only 3 spots, they're moving up. So, hopefully they can maybe put more weeks like this together and potentially move further. Number 13. Now, they dropped 1 spot, and they had a record of 1-1-0 this past week. Montreal. Now, the Montreal Canadiens, they're a team that I got a feeling this is going to be a team that could be something to watch here. Probably not, probably not a playoff team this year. Next year, wouldn't surprise me next year if they take a run at it. They're a very good young team, and those guys get some more games under their belt. I think Montreal could be a very, very interesting story. Number 12. Now, they were another big mover. They moved up 8 spots. And they had a record of 2-0-1. They went undefeated in regulation this week. Philadelphia. What a pleasant surprise. What a very pleasant surprise to see the Philadelphia Flyers in the second row. I hope they do good. I want them to do good. I would also love it if somehow they could find a way, or maybe their young star draft pick finds a way to get out of his contract and be able to sign over here. With the Flyers, if the Flyers can remain somewhat in contention, and if they're able to somehow, whether the contract's terminated or whatever happens over in Russia, if they're able to get Matvei Michkov to come over this year, that could be fun. This Flyers team could be very, very fun, and I'm all for it. So yeah, they're number 12, moved up 8 spots. Now this team, whoo boy, they had a record of 1-2-0 this last week. And they dropped 10 spots. They were number 1 last week. Toronto. The Toronto Maple Leafs are a team that, again, if you listen to Steve Dangle and his podcast and those guys and the LFRs, he says the same thing. He's like, what is this team? We don't know. They're just, and they always seem to start slow. And they had such a pretty good week last week, and they just crashed and burned. And dropping 10 spots. They got a big win tonight. They got a big win in overtime over Tampa, but it didn't really help that much. And dropping 10 spots, I fully expect them to move up though in the weeks to come. So I don't see them being there for long. Number 10. Now this is a team that also dropped. They dropped four places. They went 1-2-0 this week. Vancouver. So the Vancouver Canucks, who had a great first week, were just a smidge out of the top 5. They're now in 10th. And again, they're another one of those teams where, if they could stay up at least in these first two rows, that'd be awesome for them. I don't know if they can. I mean, it depends. You got Demko in goal, you got Pettersson, JT Miller, these guys. I don't know. Can they find a way to stay at least in the top 10? Well, we'll see as the weeks go by. Now, number 9, they stayed in the same spot. Even though, and this is one reason why they stayed in the same spot, they went 2-2-0 this week. Arizona. So the Arizona Coyotes, number 1, to see them still in the top 10 is cool. Even though they stayed in the same spot, they're still in the top 10. 2 weeks into the season, not bad. And I think this is going to be a pretty good team. This could be a team that could be a lot of fun to watch this year. The talent is there. They just don't have a building that's really worth, let's draw 3,000 fans to a game. But that being said, the product on the ice right now is looking really good. Number 8. This is a team, they moved up one spot, and they finished with a record of 1-1-1 this week. The New York Islanders. So the Islanders, again, they're another one of those teams. What are you getting with them? They've got the goaltending. Sorokin is fantastic. Varlamov is fantastic. What's the talent got to do on the ice? Can they score? I don't know. They've stuck around right now, all because a lot of these other teams were just really bad. But they still they still moved up one spot, and we'll see if they can maintain it. Number 7, another big mover. They moved up 9 spots. And they had a record of 2-1 this week. I want to see good things happen for these guys. Ottawa, the Ottawa Senators. I really want to see some good things happen with these guys. To see them in the top row is fantastic. I love that. And I hope they can maintain that. They've got a new owner. They have a new owner that is, pretty passionate about the team, who is saying all the right things right now. And not only that, they're getting some decent results on the ice. So, hopefully they can maintain that. Number 6, another big mover. They moved up 8 spots, and they went 2-1 this last week. The New York Rangers. I love that logo, by the way. That logo is fantastic. The Rangers, another big mover, moving up into the top 10. Well, I think they were already in the top. No, they weren't in the top 10 because they moved up 8 spots. The Rangers, Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox, Mika Zibanejad, Artemi Panarin, Lafreniere, Kakko. The list goes on. They're another one of those teams. You've got Shesterkin in net. You're a threat to win basically every game. So we'll see if they can maintain that. Number 5, moving up 3 spots, and another team that's expected to do some good things this year. Dallas. The Dallas Stars they're one of those quiet teams that they're just kind of hanging around right now. No one's really seeing a whole lot. They're all just kind of like, and I think Dallas is fine with that. They're like, hey, we have no problem just hanging around. So they are officially in the top 5. Number 4. Now this team is a surprise in the top 5. They moved up 10 spots. But the reason they moved up 10 spots, they went 3-0 this week. The Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings. A lot of people still don't really believe in the Yzer plan. I'm starting to believe. I think they're in the process of making some serious noise. And they're another one of those teams. I mean, they're on a 4-game win streak right now. You know, they went 3-0 this last week. They won the last game of last week. So I mean, they won 4 in a row. We'll see if they can keep it going. Number 3. This is a team they moved up 2 spots. They moved up 2 spots. Where are they? They went 2-0 this week. Boston. So the Boston Bruins, a team that I really thought was potentially going to fall off. Losing Krejci, losing Bergeron. I thought, this team might fall off. No, they haven't. They have not fallen off at all. And they're looking really good. They're looking very, very good. Number 2. This is a team that's moved up 2 spots. Another team that went 3-0 this week. Colorado. So the Colorado Avalanche, they're undefeated. Just like Boston is undefeated. So, which team breaks? I don't know. And this one's, the top 3 teams are like really, really close. So, to see them, sitting at number 2, undefeated, pretty good. Number 1 team, no surprise. They went 3-0 this past week. They are still 5-0. They are 6-0-0 on the season. The best start of a defending Stanley Cup champion, the Vegas Golden Knights. Was there any doubt they were going to be number 1 this week? To me, there was no doubt. They keep rolling. They have that crown on their head, and they're not wanting to take it off. If you're going to take that crown off of their head, you're going to have a hell of a time doing it. You're going to have to fight them. They're going to be scratching and clawing, and they're just, when do they lose a game? 6-0-0 on the season, 12 points. You've got 25 goals scored, 11 goals against. You've got a plus 14 goals average. You've won 6 in a row to start the year. Yeah. How could you not have number 1? So, let me know what you guys think about the rankings this week. Is the right team in number 1? How do what do you guys think? Who do you do you like where a lot of these teams are? It was not easy putting this together, trying to look at everything and just be like, whoa. So, let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, hit that like button. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you really enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated also. And if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded, you can tap that little bell, and it will notify you anytime one of my videos goes live. And yeah, so week 2 of the Larry's House of Hockey Power Rankings. And again, I'm pretty sure you'll probably get people who will tune in and they'll just, zip all the way to the end. because unfortunately a lot of people do that. But you know, it'd be awesome if you sat and went through the whole thing, and you know, and see, you know, why I put them where I put them. So hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the little bell to be notified of when the videos goes live if you feel like it. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I'll see you guys very soon.